Hello and welcome back to All Elite Spotlight. I'm your host TNT, and we are fresh off the heels of an AEW Dynamite, a great AEW Dynamite, and following it up one night later with a new episode of AEW Collision, which we will be reviewing here tonight. And it was a good night of professional wrestling, as is to be expected. Great night for a fight, despite it being Thursday night and not Saturday night. So great showing tonight. Had a surprise return, maybe not quite as big as the one on Wednesday night, but still pretty significant, at least in my books anyway. Both returns, both Wednesday and tonight, Thursday, were former world champions. So let's get straight into it. Why don't we? So as opposed to Wednesday night, where we had a huge opening segment that was not a match at all, tonight we get straight into action. It's an opening match, and we have the Continental Title Eliminator match. Jon Moxley, current Continental Champion, going up against Anthony Bowens. And as we know, Continental title matches, be they Eliminator or straight title matches, are 20-minute time limits, unless otherwise noted, as in the case with the match at Revolution of Moxley defending against Takeshita. So this match is a 20-minute time limit, and there's no outside interference. So Death Rider's not at ringside. And this comes back at the end of the match. So for this, we have Bowens still on his crusade, trying to prove himself as a worthy enough wrestler to be a member of the Ops. So he's trying to prove himself to the de facto leader while Samoa Joe is out. And that leader is Hook. So Mox is, of course, in true Mox fashion, he's happy to try and help someone prove exactly who they are. So to start the match off, he's trying to light a fire under Bowens, trying to instigate him, get him to in a matchup of strikes. And he succeeds. They eventually even end up fighting into the crowd. At one point, Mox is almost thrown into a fan that's going up the stairs, but luckily he doesn't collide into him. It's pretty much a back and forth match at certain spots, but really, in essence, Moxley has control, right? Which one might expect. Bowens is a great wrestler. I have always enjoyed his work. I've always thought he was the better half of the Acclaimed. I'm surprised they never ended up getting back again. I know they got back once before. I thought they would do it yet again, that this was leading up to it. All the stuff with the Max and him going at it repeatedly. And, it didn't seem to work out that way. So Bowens is on his crusade. He is getting pretty well dominated by Moxley, but, he does have his moments, as is to be expected. They go past the halfway mark. The match itself probably goes about 15 minutes. Bowens makes a good account of himself towards the end. He gets, I guess, the killer instinct, they may say, that Hook was looking for, because he grabs a steel chair and takes two swings at Jon Moxley. Misses both times, but, he does attempt to hit him, which would have caused a DQ, but we'll see if they wrap that in as him, having that certain quality that could make him useful in the Ops. But long story short, he does hit Mox when they get back into the ring with three of his rolling discus forearms. Goes for the pin, but it's countered by a bulldog choke, where Bowens tries to fight up, he gets to his feet, but Mox transitions him into a Death Rider, and 1, 2, 3, match is over. Excalibur declares that Jon Moxley is 12-0-1 since the Continental Classic. So very good record. Mox is back in his bag, as they say, just stringing on win after win. But that is not the end of Moxley's night, because out of nowhere, Ospreay comes into the ring and hits Mox with a hidden blade, goes for a chair, but the Death Riders come in and save Mox, drag him out the ring, make their way into the crowd. Ospreay delivers a quick promo just saying that, he wants Moxley at Dynasty, and he's figured out a way to make sure there's no outside interference, and that is the challenge for the Continental title, because like I mentioned at the top, that is one of the stipulations: no outside interference, 20-minute time limit. He feels that's all he needs to exact some revenge on Jon Moxley. So it's later confirmed that that match is official for Dynasty: Jon Moxley versus Will Ospreay for the Continental title. From there, we have a backstage promo. We have Okada, Andrade, and Mark Davis, and Okada's leading that promo backstage. He's saying to Davis and Andrade that this is their opportunity to take revenge for Kyle Fletcher, who was injured last week in a match that included the Rascalz. So that is who Andrade and Davis will be facing later on tonight. And Okada always takes an opportunity to take a shot at Takeshita. They still have that going. I'm just wondering when that's eventually going to pay off. It's been going for a while, this feud between Okada and Takeshita. So at some point, something's got to give, and someone's going to be knocked out of the Don Callis family, and they're going to have to meet in the ring one-on-one. It's been a long time coming, so hopefully, maybe by All In, we'll get that matchup. I don't know. What do you guys think? Or is this just going to be perpetual and never really going to get resolved? I don't know. It's been a long time, but I don't think it's going to be a forever thing. What are you folks thinking? Are you at that point where you think it should have happened already? Or are you fine with the way it's going right now? Go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments. From there, we have a quick tag match, about 2-minute long time match from bell to bell. We have the Divine Dominion taking on the local talent, Kristara and Ava Lawless. So, as you would expect, quick match. Divine Dominion, really, it was kind of a showcase match. We got to see some teamwork and some new double team moves by the tag team champions. So that was cool. I think it was just an opportunity for them to get some more work in, get some more time to gel and perfect those double team tag team moves. So it was a nice little showcase. Ended, like I said, in about 2 minutes. They ended up hitting the Divine Intervention finisher, which is that double choke slam that always looks so vicious. It was put on Ava Lawless. There was a 3 count, and that was it. We move on, and we'll await whoever will be named their next challengers, I would imagine, for Dynasty coming up. So far, hey, I'm happy. Megan Bayne's a champion. Looks like a dominant champion. Every time I see Lena Cross, she seems to be getting better, looking more comfortable in the ring, and they look great together as a team. They look to be gelling, so I'm happy. From there on, we have a couple backstage promos. We have the Death Riders. So we have Mox, Daniel Garcia, and Marina Shafir, and this is really about Mox responding to Will Ospreay's attack and his challenge for the Continental title. And basically sum it up by saying Mox does not believe that Will Ospreay is at 100%. He thinks that Will is a little bit delusional, and he says he's fine letting delusional people be delusional, and that really he doesn't have to beat Will Ospreay, that will beat himself. So interesting philosophy from Jon Moxley. He's always a couple steps ahead of the competition, and it seems like this may also be the case here with Ospreay. Do you guys think that Will is going to beat Jon Moxley at Dynasty and become the Continental Champion? I don't know that storyline wise Will is at 100%, and he's definitely been biting off a lot, and he still has a little over a week, about 10 days before he makes it to Dynasty, and I imagine the Death Riders are going to lay hands on him at least a couple times. Jon Moxley is basically undefeated since the Continental Classic, and he's on quite the roll. So absolutely, Will Ospreay can win this match, but will he? I will say what's in his favor is the no interference 20-minute time limit. The 20-minute time limit could play against him, though, because is that enough time to beat Jon Moxley? I have a hard time seeing that. I can see it going the distance. Will they do that again after doing that with Takeshita and then having to run it back with no time limit? Maybe. We shall find out, but definitely plays into Will's hands that there's no outside interference. So if he's going to have a chance, this is going to be it. Now, the next promo was very interesting, and I don't quite know why they reintroduced these people this way, but it was the Hurt Syndicate. They just showed them backstage, MVPs in between Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. He's saying Bobby is back, he's clear to wrestle, and they are looking to increase their ranks and getting back to hurting people. So very great that the Hurt Syndicate is back. I was wondering just how much longer Bobby would be out. I was expecting to see him back possibly at Revolution doing that 21-man Blackjack Battle Royal. But I did think it was an interesting way to have them return, because it wasn't some major splash, right? Nothing big. And I think for the Hurt Syndicate, at least in my eyes, they kind of deserve a big return. Like whether you want to announce them and say, hey, next week, the return of the Hurt Syndicate. And I guess this isn't that much different, but Bobby Lashley's a big star. The Hurt Syndicate are very popular. So I think hearing their music play and them coming out, it would get a good reaction. And I feel like that might have kind of been wasted. Let me know. Do you guys agree with that? I'm not mad at it at the end of the day, but I'm big on surprises in wrestling, and that just seems like an opportunity that might have been a little bit wasted for people of their caliber. But moving on from there, we have a singles match. This is the TBS title match, the open challenge that Willow laid out on this past Dynamite. And Willow comes out first, and her opponent is the returning former 3-time world champion, Hikaru Shida. Man, it was great seeing her come back. It had been such a long time. I was wondering if and when we'd see her again. And wow, Excalibur and the crew pointed out that it had been almost 500 days since our last AEW match, since back in November of 2024. So quite a long time. It was definitely good to hear the entrance music, see her come back. I was happy to see it. I know some people may have been expecting Mercedes. Partly, I was expecting it too. I was a little surprised that she didn't show up, but I was more than happy to see Hikaru Shida because she's a top star and there's so much history with her in AEW. So I thought it was a good thing. I was happy to see her, excited to see her. Great former champion, great competitor. It was great all around. I hate to keep using that word, but I really enjoyed it and I was happy. So Willow was still sporting that shoulder injury from back in Revolution when she defended the TBS title against Lena Cross and then did double duty and ended up losing the tag team championship against the Divine Dominion. So she had the kinesio tape. The shoulder was giving her trouble at times during the match, and she did end up coming up victorious, but it was with a quick little backslide after Hikaru Shida was going for her finisher. So she pulled it out. The commentators said they felt she got a little bit lucky to get the victory. I believe that was Shivani specifically that said that. But all in all, it was a solid match. Good to see Shida back. Didn't see too much ring rust or anything like that. Looked like she was still in top form. And other than that, just excited to see her back. It's great that she had a title match, even though it was the TBS title match and it's a 3-time world champion. The first woman to do that, the only other woman being Toni Storm. It was good to see her. And at the end of the match, there was a little tease, she being Hikaru Shida, she had her candlestick and was looking frustrated and that she might attack Willow from behind, but she decided not to. They parted ways, and as Willow left, Shida was still in the ring holding the candlestick, looking upset and frustrated. So we'll see if she has a mean streak. I don't really need to see that side of her. I just want to enjoy her being, a good guy and a good girl, good woman, a face, and doing her thing and being cheered and appreciated by the AEW fan base. So we'll see what the future holds for her, but welcome back, Shida. Good to see her. From there, we have a tag match. This one is FTR with Stokely, of course, in tow. They're going up against some local talent as well. Mr. Mo Jabari and London Lightning. So FTR came out. They had like 5 or 6 security guys come out with them. And match starts, and these local guys not looking too bad. Particularly London Lightning. He's the one doing the offense to start the match, and he's getting in good offense. He's fighting back, doing some good moves, tags in his partner Jabari, who then proceeds to take the beating, but not too much of a beating because he switches things around, hits an insecurity, fights back, knocks both FTR members down, makes the hot tag. London Lightning comes in fired up, ready to go, but there's nothing to do because both members, Dax and Cash, are still laid out. So he goes to cover Dax. Quick kick out by Dax, not even a 1 count. He's playing possum and goes straight into hitting him with a shatter machine. 1, 2, 3, match is over. They were just kind of playing with them. Ended the match still relatively quickly. But as soon as that's done, cue the music, and we hear Cage's count down his entrance, followed by Cope's entrance, and here they come out for the post-match face-off, and they have their steel chairs in hand. They take out security straight away, get into the ring, and a brawl ensues. They're trading punches with FTR. Eventually, Cage hits a low blow to Dax. Then turns around and bites Cash, and then Cash gets hit with that Impaler DDT by Cage. Then they set up Cash for a one-man concerto, but Stokely gets some courage and slides into the ring and pulls the chair out of Cage's hands and makes the save. Security attacks, a couple of them anyway, and allows FTR to escape. Meanwhile, they receive each of them a couple of finishers. So a spear by Cope for one, and then the kill switch for the other. And one lucky security guy, is the recipient of a one-man concerto. Surprising that they're going for the one-man version when it's the both of them who, made that move famous, but just the straight-up concerto. It only went to one man when they split up and were going against each other. So, I guess at some point maybe we'll see the original move with the both of them. So set up for a tag team title match at Dynasty between FTR and Cage and Cope. Definitely looking forward to that. Do you guys think there's going to be a change here, or is FTR just add another notch on the belt and cross somebody else off the list? I think Cage and Cope have to get their revenge. So I would be shocked and surprised if they do not walk away the AEW Tag Team Champions, again, getting some further accolades into their historic tag team careers. From there, we have a quick backstage promo. We have the Brawling Birds and Mina, who maybe are going to go by the trio's name of the Lovebirds. We shall see. But ultimately, this is about Jamie Hayter recognizing that she's a former world champion and is one of the few people to have pinned Tekla since she came to AEW. So she is laying out a challenge for the Women's World Championship at Dynasty. And we'll find out later in the night that it is official, and at Dynasty, she will get her wish and will have a title opportunity against Tekla. I already have thoughts on who's going to win that. I'm sure you all do as well, but we'll get to that later. I'd be surprised if Tekla were to lose. But you never know. And I was a huge Hayter fan. Surprised that she kind of is out of that picture. So it's good to see her there again. So we'll see if it pans out for her. I wouldn't count on it, but hey, stranger things have happened. Then we go to what I thought was the match of the night. Another Ciampa matchup, and this time against Juice Robinson. I mean, these two tore it down. Just solid back and forth match. Neither wrestler getting full control of it. Both always finding a way to counter, to fight back, to switch the momentum. Just constant back and forth. Good battling. Good savvy ring work. Ciampa is such a ring general, honestly, to use the term, and Juice Robinson just plays his character so well. The stray bullet, the wild man, he's very good in the ring, and he just knows who he is, and that makes all the difference as a wrestler. So I thought it was the match of the night. I mean, they laid it all out in the ring. There are some cool moments. Juice hit a jackhammer for a 2 count. Ciampa did the old Ric Flair hold on to the ref while doing a back heel kick to low blow. Hit his Widow's Bell DDT, but was shocked that was only the 2 count. So, raising the match another level to a spot where you would think that will do it, right? I mean, a low blow and a signature move, that should do it, but no. Juice is too resilient, too good for that. Ciampa attempts the Avalanche Psycho Driller, but it's countered into a powerbomb. Nevertheless, a couple moves later, like I said, nobody's really taking that full advantage of the match and able to get full control. But Ciampa does manage to hit not just one running knee, but a second running knee, and that's what it takes. Ciampa gets the 3 count. Ciampa gets the win, further increasing that win streak and getting closer, I believe, of course, to a TNT title shot. And with Kyle Fletcher out and injured, we'll see what happens. But definitely my match of the night. Solid storytelling in the ring again. And Ciampa just really is on another level. And it's so good to see him actually being utilized and being able to put on these matches. And Juice, I mean, at some point he's going to have to get his moments as well. From there, we have a couple backstage promos. We have Isaiah Cassidy basically saying he's tired of everyone talking about change, change, change. You need to change this. There needs to be change. And he said, well, you've got your wish, because apparently his partner, Mark Quinn, is injured. He's out, so he's going to be on his own, and he's hungry for opportunity. So we'll see where that leaves him in the singles division. I think he has an opportunity, so hopefully he'll take the most of it, make the most of it, and we'll see where that takes him. AEW is really stacked, so he's going to really have to, lock in. So we'll see. Should be an interesting journey. We also see Darby. So he says that Kenny Omega on this past Dynamite, when they passed each other on the entrance ramp there, that Kenny said he will honor the stipulation of if Darby Allin beats Andrade at Dynasty, he will give a title shot to him. Of course, if Kenny wins. And MJF already agreed, or it's already been arranged, through Don Callis, the same stipulation. So all Darby has to do, no matter what at Dynasty, is beat Andrade, and he will be next in line for a world title shot, be it against MJF or Kenny Omega. Brody and Jack Perry came up to him during the promo, and Brody King says, you put me in a coffin, and there's a time when he really hated him, and Jack Perry points out that, dude, you lit me on fire. He actually mentioned it 3 times. Brody King brings up the fact that, they stuck together and they fought together against the Death Riders, that Darby was there for them. So, he wants to say that he feels like they can have each other's back and, team up to go up against the Don Callis family, who seems to have an issue with everybody. So Darby Allin's happy to accept that, and it will be the 3 of them going up against the Don Callis family at the next episode of Dynamite, that being Mark Davis, Takeshita, and Andrade, I believe. Yep, Mark Davis, Andrade, and Takeshita, and that'll be next Wednesday. So they walk off, that is, except for Jack Perry, who looks at the camera and says, he lit me on fire. And then he turns around and walks the other direction. Now, they are teaming up, like I said, for Wednesday night. But, Jack Perry, we'll see if that turns into anything. But I do like that they're acknowledging the fact that he still kind of has a problem with that, being lit on fire by the guy. But from there, we have a tag match, Don Callis Family, Andrade and Mark Davis going up against the Rascalz, Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz. And this is all about revenge for the lower leg injury to Kyle Fletcher last week. The match starts off with a brawl at ringside, and that goes on for a couple minutes before they get into the ring and the match actually starts. Don Callis Family basically controls this match, the majority of it. The Rascalz, of course, do get towards the end to fire up, and, they ended up going for their finisher. It gets countered. Zachary Wentz eats the Dunkzilla pile driver. Andrade hits the DM on Zach Wentz, and 1, 2, 3, match over. Not a terribly long match. Don't think it went 10 minutes. And the Rascalz did get to fight back, but really it was Mark Davis and Andrade kind of dominating and doing what they set out to do. So not really too much to talk about there. It's giving Mark Davis and Andrade a chance to shine. And unfortunately, it's at the expense of the Rascalz. However, it did not end there, because now Okada and RPG Vice, Trent and Rocky Romero, they come out and they want to give some more payback to the Rascalz. And the commentating team is saying that Okada doesn't want to miss a chance to prove to Kyle Fletcher that he's a better friend than Takeshita, who's not there doing the beatdown, because Takeshita is actually in Japan. Now, Myron Reed does come out and make the save, and in amazing fashion cleans house and single-handedly makes the save against the three of those guys, just wipes them out, and is able to help his buddies. And it's the Rascalz standing tall in the ring, while Okada and Trent and Romero, find their way back up the ramp. So interesting. I guess that's where we're going to likely see the Rascalz now, going up against this trio of the Don Callis family. We'll see if it happens at Dynamite, most likely at Collision next week, I would imagine. But we'll see. So all that's left is the main event, the 8-man tornado tag match. This is the Dogs, Finley and Connors, teaming up with Death Riders Claudio and Yuta, going up against Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong of the Conglomeration, and then 2/3 of the AEW Trios Tag Champs, Kevin Knight and Mystico. And now the heels, the Dogs and Death Riders, attack the good guys during their entrance. So there's a big brawl. Starts off like that right away. Because it's a tornado tag, there's obviously no tags involved in the match. It just has to end in the ring, be a pinfall or submission. So it's just chaos, as you could expect, but fun chaos, right? Basically, as the match progresses, it's Orange Cassidy basically trying to survive 4 against 1. He's putting up a good fight. As the match winds down, Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong, they end up mixing it up with the Dogs, and all 4 of them fight up the ramp into the back. So this leaves the Death Riders alone with Kevin Knight and Mystico. Mystico has a submission applied to Claudio. So Kevin Knight then hits the UFO splash over Claudio and Mystico, hits Yuta 1, 2, 3, and good guys win. Kevin Knight, Mystico pull it out, and they celebrate in the ring with Speedball. So Speedball gets another little mini celebration after his poor unfortunate loss to MJF on Dynamite. And that is how the night ends. We get a plug for Dynamite next week. Jericho is going to speak about his plans for his return. We have a TBS title match. Willow again. Very good on her. Another title defense. Rapid succession. This against another returning wrestler, Queen Aminata. Good to see her back as well. And then, like I mentioned, the trios match. Mark Davis, Andrade, Takeshita going against Darby, Brody, and Perry. So that was it. What do you folks think of this show tonight? I thought that was a solid show. Not the best episode of Collision. For the second week in a row, I'm giving Match of the Night to Ciampa, this time against Juice Robinson, as opposed to last week when he went up against Ace Austin. So solid matches, another good return. Happy to see Shida back. Happy to see that Aminata is coming back. And again, solid performance by Ciampa. And yeah, I think that's it. Just a solid pro wrestling night. Nothing too groundbreaking other than Shida's return. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all enjoy my review. Thank you for watching. If you've already subscribed, thank you for doing so. If not, please do subscribe and like, share, comment, all that good stuff. Thank you again. Make sure to take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you later.